Hello everybody, I want to cover how Homelander will die in the TV show The Boys. And this video will contain spoilers throughout, so be warned. Over the seasons of the show, he has gone more and more off the deep end, slowly becoming more mentally ill as the story progresses. He is being set up for the events in the comic books where the superheroes kill President Newman and attempt to take over the government. The show has been setting up this same story plot line, and I do believe we'll get there at some point at the climax of the show. Homelander is starting to view superheroes as essentially a superior species, and he is pushing the boundaries of what he can get away with in the public, at the same time becoming more unhinged in the process. In the comic book, Homelander is the strongest, most powerful superhero, and there doesn't seem to be anyone strong enough to kill him. Well, except for himself, which is exactly what happens. Black Noir is revealed to be a clone of him and is a contingency plan set in motion by Vought in case Homelander got too out of line, and it ends with them getting into a brutal death fight. Going back in time to Homelander's childhood, Vought had kept a hydrogen bomb at the ready to make themselves feel safe around him. And then his clone became the safeguard when he was a grown-up. After Black Noir and Homelander finish their battle, Homelander is killed and Black Noir is heavily damaged. Butcher is able to finish him off using special anti-V super bullets that are able to do damage to superheroes, and then eventually using a crowbar to split his skull open and crush his brain. So the question is, how will Homelander die in the TV show? It is already revealed that Black Noir is not a clone of him, and even if he was, Homelander would know right away with his ability to see through objects. So it would be pretty much impossible for Vought to even hide a clone of Homelander in plain sight. As well, there has been zero foreshadowing of this in the TV show up to this point. Perhaps the show will start setting up the storyline of the clone at some point, but it does seem that the show is intent on going in a completely different direction, and essentially the character of Ryan, Homelander's son, is a more complex version of the clone from the comic books. This makes the story much more personal, and it does seem that Ryan is going on some type of an evil path. So he may end up having a falling out with Homelander at some point and play some type of a role that Black Noir did in the comic book. So he is one of the main possibilities that may lead to the death of Homelander. In the same way Homelander was a replacement for Soldier Boy, Ryan was supposed to be a replacement for Homelander at some point in the future. No doubt Vought or somebody else might leverage Ryan in a way to use him to take out Homelander. As well, Victoria Newman now has the virus that kills anyone with Compound V. I doubt this is how Homelander will die. It would be a bit anticlimactic. The virus is pretty much the show's version of the anti-hero bullets from the comics. Newman's character in the comics becomes president, and that is who Homelander kills when taking over the White House. No doubt we will also see a showdown to see how well her head-popping abilities can work on Homelander. It is hard to say on whether or not it will cause much more than a nosebleed. The virus that targets people with Compound V might not actually kill Homelander just because he is so strong and powerful, but perhaps it will be used to at least slow him down or wound him in a way. But I am curious to see exactly what role Victoria Newman will play in his death. Black Noir 2.0 is a bit of a mystery. Was he resurrected by Compound V? Is he a clone of himself? Or perhaps a completely new person? Also, perhaps they just cloned Homelander's powers into a different person, and it will play out similar to the story of Black Noir and Homelander fighting in the comics. There is a pretty good chance that Black Noir in the TV show will play some type of a role in the death of Homelander. However, I don't think he will be one of the main causes, as in the comics, but perhaps just contribute to it in some way. Butcher is the person that does the final blow to kill Black Noir, or the Homelander clone that is actually the one behind Butcher's wife's death. In the comics, Butcher's wife was killed by Homelander's clone, Super Baby. However, in the TV show, she survives the birth of the baby, and the baby is actually just Homelander's and there is no clone. It is because of these changes that I do believe that Ryan will play a very similar role in Homelander's death as Black Noir did in in the comics. Because of this change, the show could end more on an optimistic note instead of the nihilism that the comic book does, and this would be with Ryan ultimately choosing to be good at the end of the show. We may also see some others play crucial roles in the death of Homelander, such as Stan Edgar, Soldier Boy, Queen Maeve, and perhaps any other people that may use Temp V. But at the end of the day, it will probably end up being multiple people that team up to take Homelander out, with Butcher doing the final blow that ultimately finishes him off. But what do you think? Please let me know how you believe Homelander will die in the TV show versus how he dies in the comic books.